Hi, I'm Marty Nimko. Today I want to share with you some reflections on my life as a career coach. I am in my 36th year as a career and personal coach, having had the privilege, and it really is a privilege, of helping more than 6,000 clients with a central part of their life. Um, Maybe it is time for me to share some candid reflections and hope they might be helpful not just to career counselors, coaches, but to any helping professional and maybe even to their clients. I want to start with ethics. The older I get, the more central I'm finding ethics to be. I've been a little disappointed in myself for not fully walking my talk about career counselor ethics. In talking to you previously, I have decried career counselors making their clients look like better candidates for a job than they actually are. And I've been especially critical of hired guns who write their clients' resumes and cover letters. I view that as no more ethical than a parent writing their child's college application essay. I've not done that, but I have succumbed to helping many people prepare for interviews, including suggesting compelling answers, even and although I'm not lying, but maybe even stretching the truth. I don't do it for the money. On reflection, it's mainly because it's hard to say no to them, and maybe because I unconsciously rationalize it's not that big a deal. I don't understand it. I only know it's probably true. One more ethical issue. There is a temptation to encourage a client to schedule an additional session. Not just because of the money, but because of the relationship that's there and feels good to continue it. And there's some chance the session might be helpful. Now, here I believe that I have been on solid ground, always. At the end of each session, I honestly describe the extent to which I believe a next session is appropriate. If anything, I err on the side of not pushing for a next session to ensure that my ethics are solid. And here's a related point. I do consider it unethical for counselors to only offer packages requiring some number of sessions. Every client's different. Progress varies. Compatibility varies in often unanticipatable ways. So I believe the only ethical pricing is per session. Now, turning to a more positive note, I do feel good about helping people choose a career and when I'm helping them make the most of their career. And more often than I would have thought, helping with their personal life, romantic and parenting. Career often bleeds into personal and vice versa, and I feel like I have acquired some serious expertise in that. Not just from my PhD, but I've made it a point to try to keep learning and learning and learning about that, both in the abstract but with my clients, getting their feedback, learning from working with them. I do think it takes much more expertise to be an effective career coach than many career coaches bring to the table. Many of them are nice and perky people with a bent toward marketing themselves, but they don't know enough about the world of work. I do think the best career counselors are those that blend a significant amount of real-world work experience with counseling expertise. Here are the major areas of work-world expertise I believe to be important in the effective career counselor. You really do have to understand a range of careers, especially if you're a generalist. You have to understand a wide range. Not just their existence, but the not obvious but central abilities required so you can guide people appropriately. Those characteristics of a career are often subjective, and so they rarely find their way into published articles and books. But for example, the physician who doesn't burn out requires a relatively thick skin in the face of death and intractable disease, a tolerance for inordinate paperwork, the humility to recognize that despite the inordinately long, expensive, sometimes boring training, because the field of medicine is still could be considered to be in its adolescence, there's much that docs don't know. And the overwhelmed healthcare system we have, which is getting more overwhelmed every day, means that even if the doc knows what to do, medical errors, delays caused by cost control and unnecessary bureaucracy, all that stuff makes failure too common. As a result, many docs do try to transfer out of clinical practice into management, patient review, and so on. It is tough for a career counselor or client to find such information out by reading the Occupational Outlook handbook or doing a Google search or even an informational interview. I've learned these things from years of confidential conversations with thousands of clients, and because I've chosen to specialize in high-level clients, kind of a separate, it's a subset of them, physicians, attorneys, executives, and surprisingly, my first group of clients, because I wrote a book on the subject, college presidents. Because of all that, I do know insider secrets in those fields, and something I certainly couldn't do if I was a generalist. I do encourage you to identify a niche in whatever kind of counseling you're doing. This is too much information to know, information and subjective, stuff. Here's something else that's required to be an effective career counselor. You need to know what it takes to succeed at a high level in the real world workplace. That means people management, product management, running meetings, public speaking, diversity and inclusion issues, stress management, time management, procrastination. Being an effective counselor of any sort, not just career, demands that ineffable but central ability to motivate people to move forward, something I would give myself only a B on. Even at this late point in my career, I think about this issue a lot, about how to motivate people, and I ask clients for suggestions as to, for example, how it might be more helpful in unlocking their motivation. Good counselor has got to also be a responsible self-starter. Even if you're employed by somebody as a counselor, say at a college or at a healthcare system, no one's going to make you prepare for each session. No one's going to make you take notes after each session. No one's going to make you stay current in the fast-changing field unless you have continuing education requirements. And nobody's going to, if you're in private practice, nobody's going to make you spend time on marketing, which unfortunately, at least in the beginning of your career, is required often. You also have to be emotionally well-adjusted. This is important. People don't pay a career coach or many other helping professionals because they or their situation are easy. Disproportionately, they procrastinate. They could be long-winded. They could be emotionally sensitive. They might not be as rational as you wish. And they won't all share your values, unless a person's values seriously violate your sense of ethics. And I've turned down prospective clients who work in the tobacco industry and the surprisingly dangerous cannabis industries. You have to have the restraint to put aside, for example, your political perspectives and help the client achieve their goals. A side note about staying fresh. It is important to do more than counsel. That will broaden your expertise and keeps you from burning out. For example, my giving these talks, writing my blog on Psychology Today, and my doing public speaking solidifies my knowledge, expands my knowledge, and allows me to share it. I've also been a consultant to universities, corporations, nonprofits, and that provides an excellent reality check. If I spent all my time in the bubble of my counseling office, it's easy to forget how complex things are in the real world. Would I be a career counselor, career coach if I were starting again? I'm not sure. I love the autonomy. I feel good about the ethics. As I said, not perfect, but good. I like that my clients find me helpful. But as every helping professional knows, change often occurs slowly. I'm fast-paced by nature and wonder if I might have made a bigger contribution as an in-and-out consultant to organizations. I believe, maybe, it had to be an organization I really believed in. Maybe even something completely different, like a full-time writer or even a genetics researcher. So, dear viewer, whether you're a helping professional or you're a client, as I am one to ask it at the end of each sessions or at the end of each talks, is there at least one thing that you want to remember from today's so-called session? In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.